Hi, Uncivilized Vitality, and this video is going to be about one of my favorite things, the jumbo size Moreygami or blanket. Okay, so let's talk about the blanket. So this is my patoo, P-A-T-O-O or P-A-T-U, depending on how you spell it, which is just a wool blanket or shawl that's common in the Middle East, in Afghanistan, Iraq, and such. And there are many, many uses for it. Obviously, bushcraft and fieldcraft communities in the United States are real big on Army surplus wool blankets. In Uncivilized Vitality, the blanket is one of our big tools, one of the clothing tools, the first tool, because you can use it for so many different things. Mainly, though, it's to control and regulate your body temperature. This one is yak wool, or actually this is cashmere. So this blanket is quite big, actually. And it's quite big. You can see, I mean, it's probably 8 by 4 feet. But I'm just going to use this one to demonstrate a few different things you can do with your blanket, and you can try this out when you're outside. It's also very thin and not as heavy as an Army surplus blanket, but those would work too. So the best shape for your jumbo size Moreygami or blanket is going to be a perfect rectangle. Like I said, this one's about 8 feet by about 4 feet. And if you have those dimensions, 3 by 6, 4 by 8, 4.5 by 9, 5 by 10, you can fold your rectangle in half and get a square. And now I've got a 4 by 4 square, and I can do a lot of things with the square. I can make some bags out of it. I can do all sorts of multi-hood or multi-function, multi-hood use things. With the perfect square, I know I can join the opposite corners together, and now I've got a large triangle. Okay, and the large triangle shape can be used for a lot of things. The large triangle shape can just be thrown over the shoulders. You know what? I'm going to set the microphone on the box so it doesn't get all that ruffle, and then maybe you guys can still hear me. So the triangle shape, we usually fold our shamogs or Moreygamis up and use these a lot for head wraps, and we do a lot of different things with them. You could probably do that with your blanket, but it's going to be kind of tough to do to make a head wrap out of a blanket just because the cloth is so thick. Right? But you could wrap that up and somehow tie that around. Let's see if I can do that. Oh yeah, I could do that. I could pull that around, do the same kind of tuck and wrap, and make sort of a hood out of it, or a turban type wrap out of that, an Afghani wrap. Right? And I got that up there, made that out of my blanket. It'd have to be really cold for me to resort to a hat like this. I got this nice drape on my shoulders. But besides that, I can just make the triangle. Okay. I can roll my blanket up if it's thin patoo style and just use that as a really thick scarf and tuck that in when it's cold outside. Okay. I could use that around the house. I could just take the triangle and put the base across my shoulders and the point down my back to go like old lady style shawl, right? Shawl. This is warm. Sometimes I wear this around the house. My wife likes to keep the house at about 58 degrees. I'm used to it now. I like the cold. Our boys have grown up like that. It saves on heating. So we wear a lot of blankets or robes around the house. But besides the things you've seen with the shamog or a Moreygami or even the square multi-hood, let's talk about full blanket size. What are some ways you could use this? Obviously, you could go along the long side of the blanket, wrap that around, just drape that down on your shoulders, pull your hands up to that back edge, and then it hangs right there. It's out of the way. It's nice and warm. You can kind of wrap up in that. You get a little too cold, you can flip that long edge up over your head, right, and pull in. So now you're nice and warm. This is great, and you'll see a lot of people at UV events in the morning wearing their blanket out of their bedroll. They pull out that extra blanket. We wear this around while we're by the fire trying to warm up to get going. It's not really easy to do a lot of things in front or small work because these things sort of hang and get in the way. So one of the things you can do is, if you're going to be doing a lot of work for a minute, you need one arm free, is to shift the blanket from the middle off to about 1/3 on the side, Gather that other long end up, roll it, pull it up like this. All right. Slip your right arm out and take that whole bit of the blanket and throw it up over your left shoulder. And then the weight of the blanket and the material, being wool, will kind of stick to itself and hold the blanket up there. Now, my right arm is free. I can roll that back. And my left arm is free, but I've still got that insulation across my chest and back, except this one shoulder. So I can get some things done while I'm working, or maybe I'm in the fire. And then, you know, when I get done, I can just sort of tuck my right arm down in there, and then I'm all wrapped up again. Okay. Another thing you can do is pull this up a little bit across your back, and then without gathering that up into a tail, just throw that side over your left shoulder while your right hand's inside. And then you can come down, your hands can still work out of the front, and you've got that draped up and over. You can pull up that little bit of extra across your shoulders, and now you've got a hood. With your hands down, you've got 2 layers of this thin wool across your chest, 2 layers across the back, mainly, if you can get that arm to come all the way over, right? And a hood. This is probably the warmest configuration for standing around the fire or sitting around at night. And as it gets too warm, you can drop that down. I have several of these. I have darker ones and some brownish tan ones that I'll take out because they're more camouflaged. Like, we were just on just deer hunting this past weekend, and just sitting on stand after you walk in, you know, sitting there, you cold. Instead of bringing extra coats and things, I'll bring a blanket that's set up for the environment, and I'll drape that across me. It helps break up my silhouette when I'm sitting down and helps aid in camouflage. So that's another way you can use your blanket. Okay? If it's getting a little too warm, but you don't want to walk back to camp or to your bedroll to set this down, you can use your blanket by gathering it up a little bit, depending how tall it is. I bring the short end to my right behind my back. I'll bring that across the front, wrap that left across there tightly, across the chest, and then I will fold the edge of the blanket back and forth about 8 inches wide, keeping that edge even at the top. So you keep folding that back to give it a nice straight line. And then I roll my blanket down. Just keep rolling that top edge down until you've set yourself up, okay, with kind of a lava or a sarong style wrap around your legs. And it's got this nice little fold in front. Now you've got a wool kilt or an extra layer around your legs when the wind's really blowing. I use this a lot. Plus then I have my blanket with me, and my hands and upper body are free. If I had a second blanket, I could wrap that around my shoulders, shawl-like, to stay warm completely just with the 2 blankets. Okay? Now, another way to wear your blanket is to bring the middle back over your, across your back and up over your head a little bit. Bring it down to about your chin, right? And then go out through the back. Tuck that up so it's just across my shoulders. Gather this side up into kind of a tail. Throw that over my shoulder. Gather this side up into a tail. Toss that over my shoulder. Come back up here. Find that edge where my face was. Take that free edge. Fold that up and back. So now I've got a little bit of an opening. I've got a double layer of wool on my head. I've got those tails in the back where they're holding, covering my neck. Hey, the battery died on my blanket video, so that's it. Leave some comments below on how you use your blanket or your patoo in the outdoors or around the house. And like, share, subscribe. And I'll do another blanket video soon because I really enjoy doing the blanket videos. Our first tool is the blanket, or the waabooyaan, the Moreygami, the cloth tool. So leave some comments, like, share, subscribe, and I'll try to make sure to charge the battery next time before I start filming. That's it.